Okay, guys, we're currently recording. So, yes. So, function machines and function notation. So, a function can be thought of as a machine that assigns one output to every input. Can be thought of as a machine that assigns one output to every input. So what does this F out in front represent? It represents the name of the function. Okay, so it's the name of the function. So in this case, this is F as a function of X, okay? But I could call it E, a function of Z, which is Amy is a function of sleeping. I could use whatever letter I want. The most common are F, G, and H. If you're talking physics, maybe you have a D of T, right? Okay, distance as a function of time, right? So this F right here is the name of the function. It's just the letter that we've given to name the function. All right? And the X represents the input. So it's sort of like the blank for the fill in the blank problem, all right? It tells us what goes into the function. The value, variable, or expression to put into the function. So it doesn't have to be an X there, it could be really anything there. All right? Expression? Expression. I know, I need to put my cursive back up there, or stop writing in cursive. Okay. All right. So on this side, this 3x plus 4, that is the function. And what the function is saying is it's saying take whatever your input is, multiply it by 3, and then add 4. That will give you the output. Okay? And this whole f of x thing, it's, by the way, we say f of x, or f is a function of x. Can you guys read it? F of x or f a function of x. And really, it's interchangeable with y. It is the output. The y value. Okay. So instead of writing f of x, we could write y equals 3x plus 4. But f of x is far superior to y equals, and we're going to see that in a second. F of x, it looks like f times x. I want you guys never ever to think of that. It's not a multiplication, okay? It's a sentence, a mathematical sentence. F is a function of x. So this notation is superior to the y equals notation, and we're going to get to why that's true in a second. Let's go down here. All right, so these are our function machines. So I plug in 2 into my function f of 3x plus 4. So the 2 goes in for the x, so it's 3 times 2 plus 4, and I get out 10, yeah. Okay, so that means f of 2 equals 10. Okay, what this tells us is that when x is 2, y is 10. So it's the ordered pair 2, 10. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
When x is 2, y is 10. This is why it's a lot more superior to the y equals. Because if I just had y equals 3x plus 4, then I would have to say, what is y when x equals 2? And then I have to go y equals 3 times 2 plus 4. Then I get y equals 10, but that's not an answer, that's a line. So then I'd have to write 2 comma 10, right? All of this whole nonsense is summed up by this one statement. F of 2 equals 10. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All of that is summed up. That's why the f of x is a far more powerful tool than just y equals. So we're going to use it a lot more. All right, so when I put in -1, what do I get out? So f of 3x plus 4 is 3 times -1 plus 4. So I get out, what did you say? 1. Okay. Does that make sense to everyone? So f of -1 equals 1. Good? All right, open it up to the middle and work on these problems. Do you need to see the front again? Did everyone get this front page filled out? We're starting in Group A. Charles.
Yes.
F of 3 equals 12. That's correct. No, that's okay. G of 3.
4.
4.
7. 1.
Tong, please. Group B, Amy. F of -2. I would listen to him. So you can do the work. So we have -2 squared plus 3. Does that make sense, Amy? -2 squared plus 3. Okay? Because that's what this is. It's input squared and then add 3. So -2 squared plus 3 is 7. Jared, G of 0. 1, okay. Tenno, how will I go about f of 2 plus g of 1? 9? Why do you say 9? It's 7 plus 2, which is 9. Yeah, excellent. So f of 2 is 4 plus 3, which is 7. And g of 1 equals 1 plus 1, which is 2. So you're adding these two values together. F of 2 plus g of 1. F of 2 is 7, g of 1 is 2. All right, Alex, can you do g of -1 plus f of 1? First of all, what is g of -1? -1 plus 1 is okay, this one's 0. What is this one? Is 0 plus, put 1 in here, 4. This is 4. All right, the next one is a little bit harder. Lily, can you do that f of g of 2? What does that mean? 12? How did you do that? So what did you do first?
So it's 2 plus 1.
Okay, so you figured out g of 2 equals 2, so that's 3. So then you found f of 3. Excellent, which is 12. That's exactly correct. Yeah. Does that make sense? All right. Mia? Guys agree? Okay. I agree too. I know this one's going to be hard. John?
Oh, which one? Y squared plus 3.
Yeah, y squared plus 3. Last. Go ahead, Bev. What did you say? W plus 1? All right. So that's the answers. Okay. So we're continuing group E. So Alex.
C.
C? That's correct. This is 10. F of 5 equals 10. All right. Very good. F of 3. Who wants to do that one? Lee.
B.
B, you guys all agree? All right. Which of the two girls wants to tackle this last one in group E? You think B? What do? How do you do that kind of problem? Here's what I would suggest. So remember, X is sort of like a placeholder, right? It's the blank for fill in the blank. So I'm going to write f of blank equals 2 times whatever my input is minus 5. What is my input?
X plus 1.
Uh-huh. So put the x plus 1 into the place where there's, so I usually leave parentheses and then just fill in.
A.
Yeah, 2x plus 2 minus 5, right, is 2x minus 3 is f of x plus 1. So it's A. Very good. Now, I'm really glad that you said B, because that's a really common mistake that a lot of students make, is to just do minus 5, which is probably what, minus 5 and then the plus 1, or yeah. So a lot of students do that. So I'm glad that you said that. Does this make sense to everyone so far? Yeah? Okay, so we've already talked about using an equation to evaluate a function. Now, can we do the same with a graph? Okay. Remember that I told you that f of x and y are interchangeable, but f of x is a little bit better because it tells you the ordered pair, right? So how will I find f of 7 equals, how do I figure that out? Any guesses? You can glue it later. Any guesses? How do I figure out what f of 7 is? Just look at the graph. What am I looking at in the graph?
Where 7 is time.
Okay, so I'm looking for the 7. Okay, when x is 7, what is y? 10. Yeah. So f of 7 equals 10. Okay, so now it says a meaning. What meaning do we write there? What is the graph looking at?